Hello, my friends. How are you today? I'm Jill, aka the Mentor Mom. Today, I want to start a discussion in talking about toddler language development. And so I'm going to be doing this over the course of the next several months, talking about all sorts of different aspects that we need to take into consideration when talking about talking with toddlers. So one of the most important things is to understand all of the different components that go into language development. And a lot of times, they don't talk about a lot of this stuff in parenting books, even though it's pretty much the same for all kids as they're learning to talk. So I'm going to start a series on it, and I'm going to be covering everything from foundational language skills, what I'm going to go over today, breaking all of that down. I'm also going to be looking at behavior and the impact that has on talking, sensory issues and what that does when we're trying to get kids' attention to help them with talking. So I'm going to be covering the whole gamut here. So please make sure that you subscribe. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, please subscribe to the channel so that you can follow the progression of this topic. Okay, so today I'm just going to do an overview of kind of where I start with a family when I'm working with a child with a language delay, and that is to do a discussion of foundational language skills. So, foundational language skills, what are those, Jill? Well, these are the things that have to be in place before a child is going to start using words. So, I like to consider them kind of the special sauce that helps us to get to words that, again, nobody wants to ever tell you about. So if you look up these skills online, you can see all sorts of different information and different theories on it. I kind of like to break them down into 5 different categories. So the first, well, I should go back. Let me step back here. When I conceptualize thinking about foundational skills, I think of them as a set of stairs that we have to climb to get to actual words. So these are the stairs or the steps that we have to go up, or I should say our toddlers have to go up before we can get to those words. Okay, so those steps are engagement, circles of communication, comprehension, initiation, and imitation. So I'm going to just do a real quick overview of each of those different components. Okay, so let's start with this talking about engagement, and I'm going to go into it a lot more over the next couple of weeks, breaking these down even further. So when we think about engagement, we can consider it to be the time that children are actively involved with an object, a person, or their environment. So that's engagement. So that's kind of the first step there, right? We have to be engaged and be interested in people and things and what's going on around us in order for us to learn. So the next step would be circles of communication. Sometimes people will call that send and return, return and serve. Yeah, that's what they call it, return and serve. I like circles of communication. Basically what we're talking about there is that back and forth interaction of that's basically the basis for conversation, right? I talk, then you talk, then I talk. So the circles of communication helps build attention and helps kind of set that foundation piece for that back and forth part of communication. So that would be the second step. The third step is comprehension. Big, important step that so many people don't really think about or focus on. I think a lot of times as parents especially, we get really focused on, I just want them to talk. Well, they can't talk if they don't know what the words mean. So comprehension is key in getting to words. The more words that they understand, the closer they are to actually being able to use those words. And just so you know, understanding a word and saying a word are like 2 completely different neural pathways that have to be built. Just because they understand it doesn't mean, boom, right away they're going to be able to say it. There's a lot of time, practice, and repetition that's involved in that. If you want to learn more about that and how the brain is working, go check out my Brain 101 video that I did several months back. Okay, so comprehension. And I'm going to break this down again later on. I'm going to be going over each of these components over the next 5 weeks, a little bit more in depth. Okay, so after comprehension, we have initiation. And initiation is basically when a child is using unprompted and intentional communication to express a want or a need. Okay, so this is always a tough one for parents because, and I can share my personal story later on with my daughter on initiation, but it's a hard one because it means we're trying to get our toddlers to be more active in communication and less passive. And sometimes we as parents take away that opportunity. So initiation, letting them take the lead in communication to let us know that they want or need things. And it can look a lot of different ways. And I'll talk more about that here in a couple of weeks. Okay. And so then the last step that we're climbing up is imitation. And imitation is really important. It gives them the opportunity to demonstrate and practice. It allows them to learn quickly. And this is one of the areas that over the last 20 years I found is probably one of the biggest areas that a lot of the toddlers that I'm working with that they're lacking. The skill is imitation. So our first step is engagement. And from there, we're going to move up to the next step, which is circles of communication, or back and forth. The next step, comprehension, building that understanding of language. We then work on initiation, getting our toddlers to let us know what they want on their own. And then ultimately, imitation. When these things are all in place, we have taken and completed the stairway. Okay, so when you put it all together, right, in our little stairwell, we got to go up all 5 of these steps and have solid skills in these areas before we're going to get to words. So I'm going to talk more in depth, like I said, over the next several weeks about each one of these foundational skills. And then once we have a clear understanding of that, we're going to move on to the next topic. Okay, so stay tuned. Again, subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is below. And yeah, until next time, you guys.